Lucky Lefty podcast. Onora Boys in the building. Brought to you by Onora Whiskey. OnoraWhiskey.com. It's that premium American whiskey. OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you're going to drink, let me tell you something. By all means, you got to make sure that you do it. Oh, hit the wrong one. That's my fault. Lucky Lefty podcast. MALIK ZAIRE, the original Lucky Lefty. Shaun Davis, SD2 mics. Follow us. X, Twitter, Instagram at Lucky Lefty Pod. Subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Leave your comments, questions. We respond to all. Patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. Get at us. Go over there. Membership, Lucky Legends Podcast. Players Only Podcast. Morning Dig with myself. First and 10, the podcast. We got a Howard Griffin coming up this off season. Taking care of the Midwest Big Ten and Notre Dame. We're the home of the misguided passion, ladies and gents, and we're forever committed to making sure that we spin it. Yeah. And also, you need to go over. I'm gonna put the link up in the chat, man. Go check out that new merch. We launched our new logo. Put it up on the Lucky Lefty Pod Instagram. So, been off a couple of days. Yeah, man, been off a couple of days. Let me tell you something, man. I do this for a living, bro, right? We talk Notre Dame, a couple of recruiting. And so yesterday I was blessed to my uncle. He actually has a cable show, a ministry show that was started by my great aunt, who's long passed away. She's been passed away for about, say, 12 years. And she gave it to him, and he's continued it. So it's been in the family for over 30 years. So I was blessed to kind of co-host with him yesterday. Working in a studio is totally different, bro. I don't know why. Yo, I was uptight, bro. So we shot 2 shows. We shot two hour-long shows. The first one, I was uptight. The second one, I loosened up a little bit. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like the lights are just the action of it. It's like it's like you how you can shoot so easy in open gym, and then you get in the game and everything just seems a little harder. Maybe it's the intensity or something. I don't know.
Man, it was crazy experience, and that's why we weren't on last night. So it's glad to be back in the place to be Notre Dame fans. What's popping? Get your GTB questions in, your super chats. We appreciate all of them. It's a lot happening left. We need a new running back coach. The search for the GM position continues. That's right, everybody.
They just got to call me, man.
Look, man, the fans are speaking. Left for GM. Appreciate you, Slot Fox. The fans are speaking. MALIK ZAIRE for GM. Thank you, Gavin. Matt, thank you. Lucky Lefty for GM.
Like, y'all hired Chad Owen, man. Like, come on.
No, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna be.
I'm saying from the standpoint of a loyalty standpoint. Come on, man.
Do you blame him for taking the job?
At least I want to be there. You talking about USC was always in my heart. All right.
That offended you? That didn't offend me.
No, I'm saying it from the standpoint of Notre Dame hiring guys that don't even like it. It ain't in them. It's on them. At least it's in me. I know what's best for Marcus Freeman and what the team needs. We predicted this whole season last year to a T. From his greatest points to his weakest. I know how to draft it because I know what the problems that we need to fit.
Okay.
We need to throw outside them hashes. We need to go get a guy that can do that.
That sounds like coaching stuff. GM stuff is roster building, NIL, salary.
I know where to go. Yeah.
Have you done it before though, Lef?
Having an eye for talent is something I've always had.
Okay.
Aeneas
Okay.
Williams. I told you Aeneas Williams was going
You did. You did.
sluggo in the playoffs. True
I'll give you
freshman.
that. I'll give you that. You did. You did. I'll give you that.
I told you Riley's ups and downs and downfalls and pitfalls. I told you we need a D lineman heavy in the middle, and they heard me. And they got a couple guys. They even offered an overly sized guy. Just to show that we're trying. I told you that we needed some playmakers. We got them. So roster management, eye for talent, recruiting, all the way. NIL, I mean, the way we do it is not as complicated as more other places. It's just one of those things, you know. But get the right people in the building. Count on me, coach.
Okay. So Deland Mccullough takes the running back coach position in the NFL. He returns back to the NFL. He goes to the same division. He goes to the AFC West. He came from the Kansas City Chiefs when he came to Notre Dame. And now he goes back with the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, it's hard to get it off, bro.
My bad.
I understand. It's hard to get the crackers off sometimes. So, what's your first thoughts about the departure of one Deland Mccullough?
Well, you know, when you get league guys, they usually want to go back to the league. And they say, yeah, this is all fun and games until they probably realize that the grind for a college football coach is something that if you've already tasted the league, you're like, okay, I'm working a little harder than I probably want to. And I think to have the success of going from an NFL to a college situation and getting to where Deland Mccullough has gotten to and produced some of the guys that he's been produced and recruited, he's probably like, okay, I've dabbled long enough to work on my game. Sort of like how guys in the MLB go to the AAA teams when they're coming off an injury and they're trying to work on something to bounce back, and they crush it in the minor league, and they're like, okay, let me go back in the deep water. Matt LaFleur got to see that. Al Golden got better. I think he's figured out some things on a defensive scheme level in college that he's probably revamped from when he went from the Super Bowl to Notre Dame. Used some of that, got some of that going, and now going back to the NFL as a D coordinator, he's probably more seasoned and prepared for some of these things and nuances. So I think, you know, with it being Notre Dame and almost being the safe haven for NFL coaches to come and do some things knowing they'll have some structure, and it's ran like an NFL team essentially from an organization standpoint. I think, you know, it's one of those things where it happens. When you're going to have a lot of success at Notre Dame, Deland Mccullough wasn't a guy that's like, okay, I'm going to live and die at Notre Dame like a Marcus Freeman started in college. Deland Mccullough already was in the NFL. So, you know, guys like that are probably taking the route of like some of these guys that go from college to NFL are like, man, it was all fun, but I don't want to do the recruiting side. That's probably a lot for him. And he stuck it out for Marcus Freeman, and hey, go out while you're hot. I mean, you know, Pete Carroll's been a great coach to probably coach with and under and all of that. So he probably felt like he can take the next step.
I look at it like this before we get to the impact, recruiting wise and on the coaching, the running back room. I have about three. Now I got three guys. I've talked to multiple sources left in the last 24 hours. Three guys were mentioned. There were strictly college guys that are possible replacements that are really good. One in particular got glowing reviews from multiple people. And he went to the NFL to get Deland Mccullough. So we'll talk about that aspect. But I think this is just something that timing is everything, just in life and in general. And I think the timing of this for Deland Mccullough sits right. I think when he came back, his son was playing at Indiana. It gave his family an opportunity to be close to watch him play. His other son um, was coming up as well. So, I said this about the James Blanchard situation that we're going to talk about a little bit later, bro. It's all a lot of things in life, man, are about, who you know, not what you know, but who you know, but also when you ask the question or when you make the request is also very important. And from a timing standpoint, I don't think there was anything else from a family standpoint that Deland Mccullough needed. He checked that box. He got time to spend with his sons. He was able to watch his sons matriculate. He was also able to elevate the talent in the running back room, which was hard to do because Notre Dame always had really good running backs, bro. I mean, Kyron Williams was before Deland Mccullough. You see how successful he's been in the pros. So for him to elevate the talent in that room speaks to him checking that box. The development in that room, I think the development of Audric Estime under his tutelage was absolutely amazing. So he's done just about all that he could do at Notre Dame. And if he is, which most people believe, he is an NFL coach at heart. And this is not something that, I don't think from the reports we're hearing left that this was something he was thinking about. There was something that, Pete Carroll called him. It was also reported.
Yeah, what you gonna do?
It was also reported that Pete Carroll, before he officially made an offer, Pete Carroll contacted Marcus Freeman to get his blessing to go forward in negotiations and conversations. So that just shows you the respect, that someone like Pete Carroll has for Marcus Freeman.
I mean,
and it speaks to it's not what you do, it's how you do it a lot of times, bro.
Okay, yeah. If it's not, a gentleman's
coach. That's how you do it.
And if he offers some good money, I mean, hey, like we said, you're gonna turn down $10 million or something crazy. Who knows what he's getting paid, but
I think it's just the opportunity, bro. Deland is I'm about to be petty. Man. This has nothing to do with this is why we spin it different. This is just Sean Davis being petty. So this is me giving people like bulletin board material to go back to boards and say, I said this. But I love thinking along with people, right? And with the uncertainty of the GM position, I just wonder if that played into a small bit of the decision. Like, I don't know who I'm going to be dealing with. I don't know how they're going to operate. I don't know how that's going to impact the way I want, after success with this room. I don't feel like adjusting at this point. I'll just leave it at that.
You should have called me. I mean, hey.
You gonna coach the running backs too, Left? Good look. You gonna coach everybody?
He could trust me at GM. I would have been. We would have went to St. Louis. We would have went to Ohio. We would have did some things.
So, yeah, that's just something to think about. I'm not saying that anything happened. I just wonder if the uncertainty of the GM position, in a small way, was part of his thinking as he decided whether or not he was going to remain at Notre Dame or take the position with Pete Carroll in the Las Vegas Raiders. It's interesting. What's the impact? What is the impact in your opinion, Left?
I mean, just that chemistry, the things that are intangible, the things you can't quite put a finger on, but be in that environment, that culture setter, the guy that they can trust. I mean, all the things that you can't put on paper and say you can tangibly say you've lost. But it's a lot for a 16 to what 19-year-old or 19 to 21-year-old who had a lot of trust in Deland McCullough, liked how he had things ran as a system. No different than how he stand leaving affected a guy like Charles Jagasaw, who said all I needed was 3 hours with Easton, and I'm good, I'm sold. And to lose that within a year and get Rudolph, who is going a whole different way about it, that's an adjustment period. So that has its good and bad and its ebbs and flows. So for the running backs, the core is still there with a Jeremiah Love and Aeneas Williams coming on, Keedron Young and Jadarian Price. These are guys that can still maintain while they're there some of that essence that Deland McCullough had with whoever comes in as a running back coach. But Deland McCullough was a lightning in a bottle. Marcus Freeman's geniusness for putting a staff like this together where guys can even be able to bounce back and forth after a couple of years. That's pretty good. That's like that's pretty good to have a program where you can just jump in and you don't get lost in the fold or have a huge turnover where guys can just work their way in 2-3 years and just go back. I mean, where else can you do that? Alabama at one point. Ohio State coaches, they jump around to go to college. I mean, Notre Dame is a very unique place where NFL coaches translate back and forth consistently, like in Alabama with Nick Saban, but it wasn't a Nick Saban thing. It's a Notre Dame thing. We've done it with all types of coaches, Kelly and Lou and everybody else that can bounce, have coaches from the NFL come back and forth. So I think it's another special thing that Notre Dame has as just a system in general, and that high standard of professionalism where you know you go from NFL is kind of no different than being at Notre Dame. You have high success that gives you that merit where you feel like, oh, I can go back to NFL and do my thing, and for bigger roles. That's the other thing. You're not just going to just. I mean, look at Tommy. Tommy's falling forwards. OC at Notre Dame. OC at Notre
Really,
Dame.
but I
2
mean, what
years.
success? What success has he had?
Look, Notre Dame at 2 years had a couple good, and then gets into the Browns, does the passing game quarter. Now he's the OC. It's like, oh, okay, you just, these are, and qualified from what you was at Notre Dame. I mean, what other was a qualifying factor other than you was at Notre Dame? Matt LaFleur is the Packers head coach for a minute now. He was a quarterback coach at Notre Dame, came for a couple times, got familiar with it, did the recruiting, brought some great guys in, and bounced back. And now look. So to see that similar to Alabama, and they had some success. I mean, where else are you finding that? You see most of these college coaches that bounce around to other colleges. How often do you see them just fluidly bouncing between Notre Dame and the NFL? And I just think that's just a huge credit to Marcus Freeman maintaining that healthy environment, but also, just us as a program, how it's just transcending the average college football program and what we have outside of we just got a bunch of money or whatever the case is.
Yeah. So let's move to how much do you think he will be missed in the short term and in the long term?
Short term, I just think it's more of an impact of who are you going to trust to come in and what's that process going to be like. Aeneas Keedron Young think they're on a hot ticket, and then they realize this new guy's recruiting maybe a different style, or he has a different way that he likes. So it's like that's a trust factor thing. Jeremiah Love's cool. He's like, I'm gonna maintain the expectation of the room. I'm gonna just ride off with Dino, what he taught us, mixed with the new guy. But I only got a year left anyway. And you know what I mean? But the rotations are different. I think that's long term. The rotations and the recruitment and how the room changes and what the direction the running back coach wants to be is going to be different. I mean, Dino was a solid person you can trust, unlike you get in the receiver room the turnover. And you saw what the turnover had an effect on the receiver room, because now it's like, where's the lead dog? What's the expectation of the room? It's changed in 3 or 4 times. So it's almost unraveled in a sense. Now I think we're getting back on with Coach Brown and all of that, but Beatum leaving is just like Nick Saban leaving Alabama. No matter what, it's just going to be different. Even though Kalen DeBoer is a good coach, yada yada yada, you're going to lose some more games. Accept it. You're going to lose more games because it's just a respect thing that is hard to replace a really, really good coach. Just like a really good quarterback. The Dolphins have stunk at quarterback since Dan Marino. Still can't get it right. And it's been almost 30 years, 30, 40 years. So it's one of those things where Marcus Freeman's got to get back in his bag and know that it's going to be different. And it doesn't necessarily have to be blown out of the water, but the guys in that room trust what was going on. And we see a room that doesn't trust what's going on in the receiver room, and it can have some of that effect. But long-term rotations and the process and what they're looking for expectation-wise is going to change. Short-term is just a little bit of pain, a little bit of unknown. What's going to happen in the spring? Who's the guy? Anxiety for the younger guys because they like, do I transfer? It's a lot of things to think about now. Marcus Freeman's got to put the fire out on some of that stuff just to kind of be like, we got it, guys. It's all right, And I'm sure Deland Mccullough have talked to those guys before he left. I would assume he has. Or if he didn't, then I would be shocked, But it's crazy.
You look at it, Left. I think short term, I think it's a difficult transition. I'm gonna be honest. I think the top 3 running backs are locked in. We have to be honest. If you're a kid like Keidron Young who redshirted, didn't see a lot of playing time, partially due to injury, like you trying to recover from the injury, and he got back. You see the rise of Aeneas Williams. But for you, you have to feel like now Notre Dame, he has to be re-recruited. He really does. I hope they approach him along with the new running back. Like, yo,
oh man, yeah.
Jadarian and Jeremiah aren't going anywhere. I don't think they're going anywhere. And I think Aeneas sees that he's next.
He sees he's next. He's like,
he knows he's next. Yeah. Keidron Young is the one person in that running back room that I worry about. Like, they're in workouts right now, but after the spring, like if he's not feeling it going through spring practices in March,
because he's still in the mix of 4.
and he still has 4 years of eligibility left. He can go start anywhere. I'm sure there's a lot of teams, especially if someone suffers a catastrophic injury at the running back position at a big-time program. I could definitely see a big-time program making some type of offer. So, that is the one person in the running back room that I feel like I don't think you have to re-recruit everybody else. he's young. I think you have to approach him like, yo, we have to make sure he can see the vision and let him know that he, along with Aeneas, they are the next tandem. They are the next duo behind Jadarian and Jeremiah.
Basically.
You know, and you got to find a way to show him, like, you're not going to, like the same 3 running backs are in front of him next year. So,
yeah, it's a whole nother year.
Does he really want to sit another season? Does he really want to sit back and have less than 100 carries? It's easy. It's easy for us as fans to say, "Oh man, just bide your time." Like, bro, that's
that's over with. That method of thinking is over with.
It's easy for us to say, bro.
Yeah.
Right. But going through the rigors of Notre Dame in the classroom and going through the rigors of practice and all of that, and not having any consistency,
any control over it either,
playing time wise, or he can look at it as it's a clean slate. It's a new coach. He's going to come in here and give everybody an opportunity.
Yeah. I mean,
he could look at it that way, but let's be real. The top 2 backs are the top 2 backs. I don't care who the running back coach is. Marcus Freeman is going to make sure the running back coach knows those are the top 2 dudes. Now, can he supplant Aeneas? Aeneas' value, especially in the passing game, but no, his value in the passing game is he's the dude. He solidified himself as the 3rd down back on this team, bro.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is for a true freshman to be trusted in pass pro? So supplanting Aeneas is not exactly an easy task as well.
Yeah.
So for me, that's really my only concern. I think this position at Notre Dame will attract the best of the best. The best of the best. So short term, that's the only challenge I see, honestly. The backs are so talented. The coach won't have a problem. Long term, Notre Dame offensive linemen and running backs, I think they're cool. 3 names left. Brian Anderson, running back coach at Kansas State. Man, I've heard so many fantastic things about this dude. And you look at the running backs that come out of K-State, they really are underrated. He's done an incredible job developing running backs. Elijah Brooks, you remember Elijah Brooks when he played in college. He's a running back coach at Virginia Tech. Heard good things about him. And then Chris Barclay, who was a running back coach at Louisville. Those are 3 names that I heard from a college standpoint that are really good at their job. But I do think Marcus Freeman has a track record that he will look in the NFL ranks as well.
Yeah, it'd be nice to just sprinkle some NFL guys in there. You lose 2 NFL guys with Golden and Deland Mccullough, who in a lot of ways show you that NFL guys have a lot of value coming into the college atmosphere, with a guy that came in as linebacker coach, left as an NFL defensive coordinator, and a guy that was in the NFL, came to college and really did his job. I mean, good grief, he recruited it right, coached it right, kept guys happy, had a good rotation, got a potential first round draft pick running back, and the year before got a 3rd round. So it's like, what didn't he do to feel like he was ready? So I think there's a lot of value in having an NFL guy there. You saw Marshall Faulk go to Colorado. Deion's got Warren Sapp over there too. So, that's going to start turning over. And not Pat Schumer, offense coordinator. So it's not everything. It just makes sense. You get the highest level of a knowledge base, right? And you run with it. And I think that relatability of them being players helps so much. So hopefully that he thinks about it. These college guys, maybe they are pretty good. I mean, Kansas State always is pretty successful running the football. We've liked what Kansas State did offensively anyway. So from a style fit, he probably would catch on quicker to what we want to do. And I trust Marcus Freeman's going to make the right decisions.
Yeah. Lucky Lefty podcast. So before we get to James Blanchard, it is very good to hear. And I want to come at this from a different standpoint. Jason Onye, who was not with the team midway through the season for personal reasons. No need to get into that. But he's back with the team. He's back on the roster at a position where they sorely need him, especially from a veteran standpoint, someone that's played considerable snaps on the college level. I expect him to be one of the top snap count guys at the defensive tackle position next year and to be fully motivated. Like, this is your year, okay? Like, there is no more emerging.
No.
Jason Onye's on the come. This is it, my dude.
This is it, yeah.
This is it. And
this is your Alizé Jordan Patello contract.
Yes. And I just want to commend the young man. I want to commend the young man because there's a lot of stuff out there. There's been a lot of stuff put out there. First of all, I commend Notre Dame. But I want to give a lot of flowers to Jason Onye. There are situations in life left where you have every reason to give up, walk away, and go do your own thing. Or as sometimes people tell others, do you.
Yeah.
Do you. And the path back to this roster was not easy.
No.
It was not easy. It was not made easy. On and off the field and in the classroom, it was not made easy. And for him to be with the team shows the dedication of this young man. Right? Because all people love talking about the fall from grace. People love talking about the fall from grace, bro. But there's no greater story than redemption. You're gonna make me preach up in here, bro. Let me calm down a little bit.
Dive into the bag.
There's no better story in life than redemption, bro. Because everybody's going to fall. We see it every day.
Every day.
All over the world. And everybody's like, everyone is going to fall. But this young man got back up. Yep. He got back up. And he did everything. Obviously, he did everything that was asked of him. Everything.
That's right.
They went to the portal and got 2 interior guys. He could have said, you know what? I'm out. He knew what he had to do. And he did it. So kudos to that young man.
Kudos, yeah.
Man, absolutely. Kudos to that young man. And at this point, I don't even care what he did. I don't care what took place. He got back up. He got back in right standing. And now he's ready to go. I think he's dealing with pain internally. I would be dealing with pain internally. Feeling like I let my brothers down. Feeling like I could have been a difference maker against Ohio State. That's how I would have felt. That's how I would feel. That would drive me. It would drive me to not a bitter end, but it would drive me to a victorious end. Like, yo, I am not letting my squad down ever again. I expect him to be extremely motivated. Extremely motivated. But I'm proud of that young man.
Yeah, absolutely
proud of that young man. Now, why is Notre Dame still looking for a GM? Late last night, I was speaking with someone late last night. I left the studio, missed the call, called them back. And at that time, last night, I was informed that more than likely, James Blanchard would not be taking the Notre Dame job. I was also told that in the midst of talking with Notre Dame, it was explained to me that James Blanchard was dealing with something That was a pretty serious family issue over the previous 2 days. Did that impact? I absolutely think that impacted. Because once again, I said this at the beginning. Forget all of the other stuff we talked about, right? Money, what would Notre Dame offer? What would Texas Tech be willing to counter with? Fit, control, all of that stuff. At the end of the day, once again, sometimes in life, ladies and gents, it's just all about timing. It's just all about timing. And Marcus Freeman did everything possible. Everything possible. Everything he could have done and then some. He did it. He did it. This comes down to timing, in my opinion. And not only timing, Left, it's a big task, man.
Yeah.
It's a big task to ask a man surrounded on his side of the family and on his wife's side of the family, all of that support in Texas with 5 kids. I tell you this story, Left. I tell you this story. So, the year we got married, my wife was actually graduating from Columbia College here in Chicago. And she was graduating from the television production program. Her lifelong dream was to be an anchor, a news anchor. And so our plan was that we would leave and go to small stations and work our way back to Chicago over a 2 to 3 year span. We were newly married, and I was flexible in what I was doing. Midway through her senior year, she finds out that we've conceived our daughter. And I'm still supportive, Left. I still want her to pursue her dreams. We're young. Yeah. She's 22. I'm 24 at the time. I'm like, yo, rock out. Like, I got you. Yeah. I got you with baby girl. Like, yo, let's get it. And ultimately, she said, only as a mother that has a heart for their child, she says, no, I do not want to have an infant away from home and away from my support.
Well, home is wherever your feet are, right?
That she was like, yo, I do not want to raise this baby girl without my mother and your mother and our cousins and aunts. And no, I'm not doing that. I'm not spending a year in Iowa, small town Iowa, then going to small town Ohio and having my child just going from place to place. My child is going to have some roots. My child is going to be surrounded by love, and she made that decision as a mother, and she literally put her career on hold. She put her career on hold, and she never got back to that particular dream, Left. She was so stuck on being a mother. Like, she stayed with my daughter until my daughter went into my daughter never went to daycare per se. I think my daughter at 3, she stayed with my daughter her first 3 years. And she was my daughter's teacher. She was everything, And so I'm just speaking from my experience, not from the standpoint of that's the way things always have to be. But it just goes to show sometimes people just choose quality of life. And that's more important. So with 5 kids, bro, that's a big ask to ask your wife to uproot her life and move away from all of the support with 5 kids. And then you have this unfortunate incident happen throughout this last week. I think it just really kind of put things in perspective. I think from a professional standpoint, I do believe James Blanchard was all in. From a professional standpoint, I think if it was just about, yo, what's the better position and what's best for me, he may end up in Notre Dame. But when you when you include everything else, That makes it a lot more interesting. Makes it definitely a different conversation. So that's how we end up. That's how we end up here. I think both Marcus Freeman and James Blanchard still walk away from the situation with profound respect for one another. Profound respect for one another. And honestly, you know what? I don't know how much longer, from talking to certain people, I don't know how much longer James Blanchard. I think James Blanchard probably leaves Texas Tech next year. And I actually spoke about, because there'll be some big time positions opening. There'll be some coaches that if they don't get the job done, I mentioned one program in the SEC who I feel like a coach is on the hot seat. If he doesn't turn it around and that team ends up 6-6, 7-5, new coach comes in, the first call at that program, first call I make is to James Blanchard. The proximity is much closer, down south, easier transition. So yeah, I would definitely say that he definitely will always be at the top of everyone's list for new program. Yeah, that's it, love. That's it. I just think it just kind of stunk that the timing of it as it pertains to James Blanchard and how certain things played out. It was already going to be a difficult because of that family situation. I knew it was going to be a difficult situation and a heck of a sacrifice, But in the end, Notre Dame goes on. I think at this point left, they can be. They really don't need to force it. Spring practice, spring games April 12th. More than likely, the pro day is going to be probably that second week of February, and usually the practice is right after the pro day, the first spring practice. So you're looking at a month to get this done, and you probably want to have somebody in place at minimum a couple of weeks before spring practice starts, when you start having unofficial visits, not only for the 26 kids, but the 27 kids as well getting on campus. And then you'll have a few officials in March. And then, of course, you'll have a long list of kids, before you start getting into the month of June, when you have the big time officials coming from the 26 class. And yeah, take your time, man. Take your time. Give Left a call. Take your time, but give Left a call. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Before we get out of here, Love, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Like we said, our all-season shows are going to be a little bit truncated, closer to an hour. We covered James Blanchard. We talked about Coach McCullough going and taking the NFL running back position with the Las Vegas Raiders. Left, I want to talk about. Oh, shout out to Jeremiah Love as well. I saw him on the NFL Network. Shout out to Jeremiah Love, showing Coach McCullough love and expressing that he has full faith, and is super excited to go out and do what he needs to do to get back to a national championship. I think it's all over Twitter X. You go find that footage. Before we get out of here, Left, what is your expectation? Because you've been here in a sense, coming off that 2015 season, and to somewhat of a strange off season, right, with a quarterback battle that you experienced. What is your expectation of this off season heading into the spring practices, and what does Notre Dame need to avoid that you can pull from with your experience in the 2016 team, where you guys came in with lofty expectations, but you were just missing something, and it ended up being a not too successful season in that 2016 campaign? Left, you had a long day, bro. I know. We're almost done. Um, let's see. I'll start it out. I think that we from a leadership standpoint, I'm very interested in who the leaders are going to be. That's the one thing about not underrating the loss of a Pat Cooley in the O line room. I think the O line room is extremely talented. Ashton Craig has never really had an opportunity to establish himself as a leader in season because of the injury that he suffered against Purdue. Can he be that guy? Charles Jagasaw, is he going to step up in his second season? Emil Wagner comes across to me as a sneaky candidate to be a leader in the offensive line room. Of course, Billy Stroud seems obvious. He seems obvious. Well, I'm sorry about that. Billy Stroud should definitely be that guy. He should definitely be that guy. Yeah, Left, y'all, man, Left is out there coaching and teaching now. He's in the classroom and on the field afterwards. So pray for our boy. It's a blessing. It's a blessing, but it is definitely a new challenge. Um, so let's see. What else? I'm worried about the leadership. I'm also worried about how they handle the quarterback situation. I really wanted Left to speak to how things would be and how a team reacts. I just want this quarterback situation to have some purity to it. And I want the team to really love the winner. That's what I want, right? I think Left can speak to um, Left can speak to Left can speak to this. Love, I was just talking about some of the things that I don't want to prohibit success. You had experience coming off a successful season with a lot of expectation and going into the off season with a controversial quarterback battle. I worry about how this quarterback competition with no clear incumbent or leader. I just don't want. I want it to be as pure as it can, and what I mean by that, I want the team to love whomever is chosen. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want it to be split. I don't want it to be 30% for this dude, 33% think this dude should start. Another 33% thinks this guy should start. I would love for somebody to just take the bull by the horn and everybody just see like, oh,
that's if the coaches foster that, if Denbrock kind of promotes that. But a first year guy is outside of it being Steve. I don't know, man. I feel like it's just meant to go drawn out and it's meant to go the distance. And I hope Marcus Freeman can have a deadline in his head of when it has to be made. Because if you draw it out with all things included, I think it's too much to try to prepare more than two guys, get ready for a season. The spring is cool to mess around with it, but this is high stakes football where in the transfer portal, we getting guys out the portal 1 year, putting it together, whatever. So the whole work your way into it idea, I mean, you're really running out of time. That's what's making it a shortened window for guys is that so much is so fluid now that you don't necessarily have to take a project or a guy that's doesn't have many. You might well take a guy that's ready to go right now. So I just hope that they figure that part out. But other than that, I just have a lot of faith that we'll take the right decision on Marcus Freeman once again having to make important coaching deadlines and roster management too.
Yeah, look, man. That's why I said, dude, the last 2 years weren't real. Sam Hartman and Tyler Buckner, that was not a real quarterback competition. I don't care what they tell you. That was not a competition. There was no competition. Stop. Riley Leonard and Steve Angeli was not a quarterback competition. It was not. This is a quarterback competition.
Because they don't know. I don't think they know.
Yes. They you know what? I tell you what. I'll say that's cap a little bit. Not cap on you. But I'm saying if Notre Dame is saying they don't know, I'm gonna say that's cap. What I mean by that is I think somebody offensively absolutely knows who they want to be the starting quarterback. Right now.
Yes.
Okay. They know who they want. They don't know who's going to win.
Okay.
They know who they want to be the starting quarterback.
Yes. I agree with that.
You agree with that?
I agree with that.
Absolutely. If they tell you we don't, that's cap. In my opinion, that's cap. They absolutely know who they want to win the job.
Yes.
Who they would like to win the job.
Yes.
Now, with that being said, I believe that they're going to make it in competition.
They'll make it interesting. You know, they're gonna try to push it to the limits or whatever, but they're like, okay, if I had to close my eyes and pick out of this hat, I want to pick that one because he should be ready. I mean, in quarterback timeline, natural order type of thing, one guy should be ready to go. You know what I mean? Just like who is the most primed age kind of fit window where this team is, and you know, you start hot, he can have a nice good 2 year, you know, it's right there in front of you with a younger guy in the midst, kind of, you know, biting at his ankles a little bit, but still being able to count on that piece specifically. I think it'll make life a lot easier going into the season.
So yeah, I just thought I would just throw that little tidbit out there. And I no need for me to say names.
No need to say names.
That's just that's
just looking at the roster.
No, that's just life, right?
Okay. Yep.
I know the Super Bowl is Sunday. I have no dog in the fight, none. But I know who I would want to win. I know who I would prefer to win.
Okay.
I know who I would prefer to win.
Pat Mahomes.
Absolutely. That's who I would like to see history.
Yes.
I would like to see history.
I think that would be cool.
I would be ecstatic if Jalen Hurts won the Super Bowl. Ecstatic.
Yeah, it's no lose. Yeah, you know.
I would be ecstatic if Saquon, after getting burned by the Giants, if he stuck it to him in the Super Bowl, I would be ecstatic.
That would be crazy.
I would be ecstatic for both of those things. I would be ecstatic. Good. I would be ecstatic to wake up Monday morning and stick it in Bears fans' faces that want to talk to me about Darnell Wright if Jalen Carter comes up with a clutch sack in the fourth quarter. Absolutely. Absolutely, I want to throw it in Bears fans' face.
You still not have that.
You still think Jalen Carter wasn't worth it? You still think that? Absolutely. And with all of that being said,
you don't like Darnell Wright?
He ain't Jalen Carter. He's not Jalen Carter. Dude, I know that. He's not that dude. Yeah, he's not that dude. That's a dude. By the way, shout out to, man, that was dope, man. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see it on social media, man. Shannon Sharp got a chance to welcome his brother into the Hall of Fame, man. That was And Sterling Sharp should have been in the Hall of Fame a decade ago. Shame on you, NFL. Shame.
You said a decade ago?
A decade ago, Sterling Sharp. Dude, when you are in He was the best receiver statistically. And he played in Jerry Rice's prime, left. And was putting up better numbers than Jerry Rice.
During Jerry Rice's best time.
During his prime. And Don Mccullough was his quarterback, bro.
Who?
Exactly. Bro, what are we talking? I don't care. Put in Terrell Davis with a truncated career.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It took this long to get him into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Ridiculous, man. But no, Left. Let me tell you something. This quarterback competition is yeah, man. This quarterback competition is just I don't know, man. I just hope it's pure, bro. I just hope it's a pure competition, man. Because I worry about the impact on everybody else.
It's going to have impact on everybody else. So
you feel like no matter what, it's going to be factions.
It's back to the scales have balanced themselves. Now it's back to the quarterback being the engine. Riley Leonard just got to be the passenger last year. Just just sit in this Ferrari and let it just self-drive us right to where we got to go. Now you got to be the engine and make it go. Because now all the parts are dependent on you. We have to be, there's no excuse. At some point, us not being able to throw the football was going to rear its ugly head. And
first half of the national championship game. First half of the national championship game.
And everybody says this obvious and same thing about that. Like, finally, y'all got caught up with it. It was our biggest, most open secret that we did so well masking for. But at the end of the day, if you're going to win that thing, you got to have a guy that can throw it. Just what it is. Everybody else in the college football playoffs had that, which is which made last year crazy. Predictable, but crazy. Because we had a sort of literally our own way of winning. So now we're more of the balance scales. Quarterback got to be able to throw outside the hashes. This is what it is. And we have guys that can do it. To which star level and star power, that's yet to be seen by any of them, even Steve. And like Gino Gaduli said, this is going to be a very interesting spring. I think they know who they want. But at the same time, first-year guy is a first-year guy. And however fast the team can rally around first-year guys to make it happen, I think we got a chance, man. But with the scheduling and Deland Mccullough and Al Golden leaving, I don't know, man. It's going to be it's less easy to predict like we did before.
Yeah. So I just put the link, everybody, out there for the new merchandise. Our brand new logo tee, hoodie, crew neck shirt.
Ooh, it's hot too. It's hot.
Check it out. Go check it out. It's up right there. Check out that link that we just put in the chat. And support us, man. Support us. We're on this self-distribution journey. Go to patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. And we thank you for continuing to bless us. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe on YouTube, Lucky Lefty Network. Give us a thumbs up. We greatly appreciate it. I'm almost done. Left, I'll get you out of here. Let's get to a GTB question. Halsey03. Been a long week. Had to pour up a glass of ONORA. Hey, we thank you for the support, Halsey. That's what's up. I got Bob 42 to 43 Crable. You guys going to the blue and gold game in April. I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll be there. For the first time, it's not the weekend of my birthday. They moved it up. I'm like, okay. So I get to really celebrate my birthday, not having to go to South Bend.
That's right.
I got to give me one guess where I'm going.
Where you going?
LA. Y'all, you already know. I'm going to LA. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you going to talk? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I mean that's it's only right.
I'm going to LA.
Have a good time too.
That's why I go. That's why. Hey, I'm going to LA. Hopefully everything.
Birthday, yeah, first time in a minute.
Yeah, because we're going to in July. We're going to Jamaica as a family.
Oh,
We're going to
okay.
Jamaica as a family, and dude, this is why I stopped planning trips for my family. It's always infighting, bro. We can't even decide on the resort we're staying on.
Oh,
Right? Because
it
we
ain't that many to choose.
We got a really nice chunk of people, 21 to 35.
Okay, that's a good
Then
range.
you have me. Like,
who is outside of that.
So the resort, there's a resort that has 2 clubs on the resort.
Mm.
I don't.
You're like, what am I gonna do over there?
You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to,
I want to go to the other side of Eden. You remember that movie?
Right. Yeah. You trying to be on the
I'm trying to be on the other side. I don't want to be on the single side, bro.
No.
See, I want to have the sessions and do
all the
massages and all of that stuff. I want to do all of that stuff.
You trying to relax?
Yes, I'm not sneaking to the single side, bro. I'm not doing that. So, and my mom wants to be in a peaceful place as well.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not getting nothing out of what y'all trying to go there for.
Exactly. So it's a nightmare, dude. So now that the resorts are 30 minutes apart, so people are like, well, we can stay over here and y'all stay over there. And I'm like,
that's not the point. 30 minutes is a minute,
I'm like, yo, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, man. Y'all.
What's the goal of the trip? That's the thing. Are we going there to relax? Or are we going there to?
The goal was, every year, because last year, of course, our family trip was to LA for a week, watch baby girl graduate. Because I can tell it now. Baby girl graduated. And literally the next week is when she went into the hotel to prepare for her live audition for The Voice.
Oh, okay.
So that's why everybody went out, because we knew we probably weren't going to see her all summer.
Right, because she was going to make it.
So she graduated, we'll see. But she graduates
so funny,
in May. Hey, bro. Hey, I stay within the guidelines. I stay within the guardrails. I stay within the guardrails. You know what I mean? Ari Camille.
You talking about we gonna see.
We'll see. So
they say he ain't getting nothing out of me, man.
So no, man. That was our trip.
Okay,
everybody
that's
went to LA.
actually cool. Okay, that makes sense.
Everybody went to LA. Now,
See, I had a theme though. It was a theme.
Yeah, right.
Y'all just like, well, what's in Jamaica? Well, we could do X, Y, and Z.
Hey, man, look, I told her, man, the spot my mom is going to has a butler service.
I mean,
with the room, right? To cook everything. So I'm all for that.
That's the point.
The young folks, they like, dude, we don't care. We ain't gonna be in the room. Like, we're kicking it on the beach, and then you have to remind people like that, like, you do realize this is Jamaica, bro.
Yeah, y'all not
like stay on a resort. Like, you ain't trying to all this stuff y'all talking. Like, you don't want to do that.
This is somebody else's place.
Yes. Thank you. This is not coming from the suburbs to the south side of Chicago.
It's not coming downtown or
no. It's none of that. None of that.
It's who's coming. Look, I can only do so much. He come help you.
Facts, man.
It's like, hey.
Facts. But it's just crazy, bro.
It's like, y'all got to think about that. No, for real, it's out of the country.
And it's been a nightmare, man. It's been a nightmare. Hey, they're like, Sean, but what you gonna be doing all the time? Eating jerk chicken, bro. I'm eating jerk. I'm eating jerk chicken for breakfast, lunch,
dinner.
dinner.
I'm getting the real thing,
dude. Oxtails, man.
With the butler and the beach and the.
Oh,
Come on, man, y'all tripping.
man, I'm enjoying myself, bro.
Yeah, get all the fancy Jamaican drinks and all of it. We're gonna be having
y'all
a good
cats,
time.
man. Like a club, you can go to the club back home.
You're like, you instantly was like, what? What do you mean?
Like, man, relax.
You're like, oh no.
I have not. I probably see. This is where you go somewhere to try. I've never had curry goat, but being in Jamaica, I trust that it's going to be done right. I trust that my initial experience will be good. So I'll probably try curry goat for the first time.
The curry goat?
Yeah, I know it's pretty spicy, but I'll probably try it for the first time. Speaking of that, left before we go, have you seen? Look, so I might not ever go to Chipotle ever again. I set up my own station at the crib. I cooked yesterday, and I set up my own bowl station. I had the ground chicken. I had the fajitas. I had the salsa, which is a mild sauce. I had the other salsa that was similar to instead of the corn, I had like a mango, a little mango concoction.
Okay.
It was mango pineapple pico. Mango pineapple pico.
Okay.
I had the cilantro lime rice, which you can get. It's Ben's, the Uncle Ben brand. They have
I didn't know
cilantro lime rice that they have at Chipotle. So I grabbed that. I got my wife some guac. She loves that. Got the sour cream. I literally, everything we get, I went ahead and did it. Yo, I might never go to Chipotle.
Yeah,
I might never go to Chipotle ever again, left.
Wow.
I picked up some nice chips, some lime chips. I'm like, yo, I might never go again. Might never go again. And I had, my wife does the pinto beans. I do the black beans. So I got black beans, and then I got her. They have the beans, red beans, and rice. So she had her red beans already in her rice. Hooked it up, left. Hooked it up. Put in a nice little plasticware. Phenomenal. But it's weird because when I got the package of rice, I was getting ready to cook it normally on the stove. Yo, I read the instructions and it was either put it in the microwave or put it in a skillet. And I was like, yo, literally, I put this bag of rice in the microwave for a minute and a half, bro.
And it was right.
Yes. So I was like, yo, I need to understand the science behind here. Because there's no water in there. I'm like, okay, I'm looking, I'm like, there's no water, bro. So it has to be pre-cooked. It has to be pre-cooked.
You said you popped it in, it was
a minute and a half, bro.
He's like, how is this?
It was perfect. It was perfect. You just had, unzip the top halfway.
And he was there.
Man. Right. I was like, yo, this is scary. This is scary. Because rice was the one thing. It was huge when you had like the little boil bag. The bags of rice. That was like huge.
This is next level.
Now it's like, I'm just throwing it in the microwave for a minute and a half.
Not 2 cups of water, some little bloody simmer 15 minutes, none of that.
Man. It was crazy. So I did it, but I like to cook my rice, bro. I like to cook my rice. But just for that moment, it did help. Because that was a lot of moving parts. I was getting everything prepared.
He did chicken to the studio.
Yeah, so getting it in the package and being able to do it in the microwave helped. Still, it was kind of like, I don't know about this, bro. This science here is kind of tricky. But I'm thinking that it was pre-cooked and then kind of, I don't know, bro.
Uncle Ben did something, man. Well, shout out to Uncle Ben, Black History Month, man. Holding down the newest inventions of rice cooking. So,
Matt, who is this? Matt Monahan says, watch out for those microplastics, though.
Man, it could have been that Harold's I had last night. Y'all need to, y'all must not have taken the grease from the Harold's from Chicago and brought it over here yet, or it takes like another 5 years.
You had Harold's in Arizona?
Yeah, man.
What? You don't listen. You're the hard-headed brother.
Listen, I'm just saying.
You're the hard, ladies and gentlemen. Left is the hard-headed brother. You tell, don't do that. Don't do that. And he just has to learn.
That's Chicago. No, that's Chicago.
Just has to learn himself. I tell him all the time, like, bro,
Chicago.
They lied. They lied.
The mild sauce is still okay. It was still right, but
they lied.
What's up, Sean?
They lied.
You gotta talk to him, man.
I don't have to talk to him.
They said they're from Chicago, repping the name.
I'm 40 years in, boy. It represents well with me still to this day. I'm a loyal 40-year customer of Harold's Chicken, bro. Parents started me young as a young lad. My father used to go get the straight up bucket. 40 wings, just a big bucket. Just walking back and forth to the kitchen all night, putting 2 or 3 on a plate at a time.
Yeah, at a time.
Didn't need no fries, didn't need sides, nothing. Just wings and sauce. That's it.
Not in Arizona. Not in Arizona. Y'all tripping.
Yeah. Arizona needs to stop. Arizona needs
to stop.
Yeah.
Y'all the more franchising. What do you mean?
What's original out there? It sounds like a lot of imports. Sounds like a lot of imports out there.
I don't know.
What's original?
They said this is Chicago's finest wing. We franchise.
All I'm asking is, what is the original cuisine of Arizona? What are they known for?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I know
are they known for barbecue? Are they known for Southwestern cuisine?
They were supposed to be known for Harold's. They were supposed to be known the landing spot, the second home of Harold's Chicken.
That's a lie. That's a lie. They can never be the second home. The second home.
Why y'all franchising out here to be false advertising like that?
Dude, I need to see the
representation.
Dude, did they have a number? Because if it's a real Harold's, then it had number whatever, like Harold's number 37, Harold's number 42. If it doesn't have that, it's not a real Harold's.
They got the original bag.
Did it say Harold's or Harold's Chicken Shack? All of that matters. We can give a call to my people.
Oh, now you said this is
out here copycat. Cats out here copycat and Harold's.
It's a subset. Yeah,
I see what's going on. I see cats out here.
Costumes.
Cats out here copycat. I feel you.
Jesus.
I feel you. Cats out here copycat. I feel you. I'm gonna make a call.
That's the second Chicago wing place, y'all. That place in Dukes. Whatever y'all call Dukes.
See, I told you, it's dude. Harold's a suspect, and they even sell wings at the joint in LA. I was like, wait a minute, what is this? A catfish combo with 2 wings. I'm like, wait a minute, y'all don't sell 6 wings? No, we don't. I said, okay.
What are y'all doing?
What are we doing? What are we doing? And I left. Bob Craig said Harold's is sus here in Atlanta. Like, dude, because see, in Atlanta, you know what it is? It's a bar. That's the problem. Harold's in Atlanta is a bar. It's literally a bar. It's like a Harold's brunch bar. See, man, that's not, no. Y'all getting these upscale, watered down versions of Harold's, bro.
Oh, okay.
Harold's is a hole in the wall chicken shack in Chicago. Hole in the wall
out here.
No. Does it say chicken shack? You still got the bag? Does it have?
You got,
Does it say?
it's
Does
a
it say
green
which
bag.
number? Does it say what? No, green how? Because the Heralds of Chicago is white.
Yeah, it's green and white.
Okay,
the green
so
and white bag and
is the man chasing the chicken with the axe?
Yep.
And what number does it say on the bag? It has to say Harold's number. Whatever. See, we got these copycats, bro. These copycats, bro. There's a lot of copycats out here.
Oh man, y'all try to diversify, huh? Good grief.
Come on, man.
I know Popeye stays the same wherever they go.
Popeyes is a blessing, but Popeyes is better in New Orleans than it is anywhere else. That's a fact. Popeyes in New Orleans is different, bro. The biscuits hit different. The red beans and rice is different. The spicy hits different. See, we get that watered down spicy everywhere else.
Yeah.
In New Orleans, baby. I always want to say that baby the way they say it because it's so fly.
They say something.
They say baby. Baby. The way they say baby. That's fly. That's one of the flyest accents. The way they say baby. That's fly. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Facts. So yeah. Popeyes down there in the New Orleans is totally different. Yeah. Like I said, Popeyes off Canal Street is different. It is. It's just different. Lucky Lefty podcast. So shout out. We talked about Deland Mccullough. We talked about James Blanchard. We talked about Jason Onye's return to the team. We talked about possible challenges that might come from the quarterback competition in this offseason. And somebody in the chat, yes, the Bears did hire. You guys can relax. Joe Rudolph isn't going to the Bears. The Bears hired Tulane's running back coach. Offensive line coach. Got the Bears job. All right, Left. Anything else? We thank you guys for the super chat GTBs. I had to go see a couple of kids. Dan Puma kid from Mount Carmel. He picked up an offer, offensive lineman.
Nice.
He's playing basketball for Mount Carmel. I'll be checking him out and putting a story about him up on Irish Breakdown next week. So I look forward to that. He said he's going to be visiting. Of course, the basketball season will probably end around the time spring practice begins. Him with a lot of 26 kids will be coming up to the campus to check out Notre Dame starting in March. And hopefully by then we'll have one of the top candidates to replace Chad Bowden. Left is not the only former Notre Dame player that had an issue with Chad Bowden at his press conference. So what he said. You didn't like it. Mike Goolsby didn't like it. A couple of other guys didn't like it. I'm like, man, it didn't hit me the way it hit y'all. But
yeah,
I understand. USC is your
rival. It had a tone to it. Like, okay, we ain't thinking about you neither. Huh? Yeah, like you had that Brian Kelly-esque to it, like, oh,
you remember back in the day when the girls used to like throw their hands up and twist it and say, well, forget you then.
Yeah, forget you then. Yeah, like, all right. Cause it was just like, okay, we get it. You know, you get your money up, which we know that's what it was about. But you talking about, yeah, I always had SC in my heart. Notre Dame, who was that? Like, what? You know, it was a job over there. I love it over here. Like, you ain't even start yet. You know what you talking about? How do you go to a national championship game and then talk about, yeah, but I really wanted to be over here? Shut up. You know. That's okay. Y'all can't get defensive players, you know. We'll say we told you so.
That really upset you, huh, Left?
Yeah, because it's like, man, y'all act like y'all didn't come and get right over here. Like, y'all come to get better over this way. And, you know, we got our ways. I get that. But then you come over
here. Got y'all hot, boy.
Yeah, but then you know what comes with it. You know, it ain't but you know you're going to get somewhere nice. Like, you wouldn't be at SC if it wasn't for us. So don't turn around and be like, oh, yeah, well, They was whacking. This is my new girl. It's like, man, what? You loved it over here.
So yeah, they upped his contract. He got a new 3-year contract. I love this. Like, yo, people were like, yo, Texas Tech is not. Look, man, James Blanchard just got a new contract extension, 3 years, 1.57. He was not making 500,000 before the Notre Dame interest. Notre Dame is already always getting somebody some money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Always helping somebody get some money.
He wasn't making what he's making now. He got his thing tripled just because we called him. Now what? And you talk about, oh, I got this other school in my heart. Man, shut up. You wouldn't be there if it wasn't for us. Just be like, okay, I learned a little bit, got to the next level. Okay, cool.
So glad we can help you get a little extra money.
That's all. Because we the king of that. We don't split profits over here. Your Big Ten. Chad gonna have he's gonna be looking around like, where's all the money at? Notre Dame just got vaults of it hiding all over campus. SC like, oh, we had to split it with Rutgers.
So, if you thought he was going to come out of this and not get more money, come on, man. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Halsey, thank you for that, Bill. But Left, we thank you guys so much for tapping in with us. We said we were going to do an hour left, but we love talking with the fans so much. We gave them a little bit more. Tap in once again, patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network, man. Subscribe to us. I promise you, we're going to continue to bless you in the off season as we add shows. Jump in right now and support. Go to Lucky Lefty Network on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. For Left, SD2 Mics. We'll be back real soon to talk some more football. I think our boy Mr. McDaniel might have something to say about James Blanchard. He knew him as well.
Oh, okay.
Lucky Lefty Podcast. For Left, SD2 Mics, man. We spin it different.